Hey there, my collective people. For those of y'all with health issues, especially major health issues, let me explain something to y'all. First of all, when you find out that you have these major health issues, whatever they may be, do your research on your health issues. That way, when you go see these doctors and these surgeons and these specialists and stuff, you know what you're talking about and you know what they're talking about. They can't just say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and you're just like, okay, you're the doctor, I'll do whatever you say. No, no. Always do your research. Do your own research. If you don't understand what you're reading or what you're researching, ask someone close to you to research it with you. Have one of your loved ones or a close friend, someone who cares about you and your health, research and explain things to you the best way they possibly can. When you go see your doctor, when you go see a specialist, or when you get to the dialysis center and you're around the nurses, ask questions. Ask as many questions as possible. For my dialysis patients, for y'all that are new to dialysis, please understand and know what dialysis is all about. I was speaking to this young lady the other day, and she was upset that she had to do so much time on dialysis. She had to do 3 days a week for like 3.5, 4 hours, and she thought that was too much. Why did she think that was too much? Because she still goes to the restroom regularly. So when she goes to dialysis, they don't have to pull much fluid off her. That right there lets me know that she has not done any real research on her health or dialysis, or she has not talked to her, really had a conversation with her doctors or even the nurses at the dialysis center. And maybe she go to one of those dialysis centers where the nurses are just there to collect the check, because I have been to a dialysis center like that before. I personally like privately owned dialysis centers because the people tend to care more. They tend to be more involved. They tend to want to take the time to talk to you and help you understand things more than they do when you're a part of a big chain dialysis center. But obviously, this young lady hadn't done any of her own research. She hadn't really conversated with anyone or talked to anyone or even talked to someone who had been on dialysis for a long period of time. She was upset with her doctor and was planning to go to her doctor to tell her doctor that, oh, you need to cut my time. I don't need to be on dialysis this long. Y'all aren't pulling that much fluid off of me anyway, blah, blah, blah. Oh, toxins aren't building up in my body because I still go to the bathroom regularly. People, people, you have to understand that just because you go to the bathroom regularly does not mean toxins are not building up in your body. Toxins are constantly building up in your body every single day. That does not matter. It does not matter if you can go to the bathroom okay as a dialysis patient or as a kidney patient. I don't care if it's number one or number two. I don't care. If you can go to the bathroom regularly, which is good, you still have toxins building up in your body. I was born a kidney patient. I have always been able to go to the bathroom just fine. But guess what? I had tons of toxins building up in my body. It does not matter. The toxins are still going to build up. Also, know what your dry weight is. Don't show up to the dialysis center after you done had that 2 day break and you know you done drunk too much water and you done drunk too many fluids and you ain't did that much eating, and you get pissed off of the nurses because they done pulled off too much. It's when you're starting out, it's going to be trial and error. You may get sick, you may cramp up, things like that. It's because they're trying to figure out what your dry weight is. You have to help them understand how much you're taking in between your dialysis days. On those days off between one dialysis day to the next, you need to keep track of how much fluid you're taking in. I know around holidays, we all tend to eat more than we normally eat. So all of that, so some of the weight that you gain isn't all going to be fluid weight. So if you show up to dialysis after Thanksgiving and they end up thinking you done gained all this fluid weight and they start pulling off too much and you're getting sick or you're cramping up, well, maybe you should tell them that all of that isn't fluid weight, that you ate a lot of food. Some of that is food weight. So keep track, do your best to keep track of how much fluid you're taking in. So when you go back to dialysis, you can say, hey, let's not try to pull off this, let's try to pull this instead. Because you want to avoid getting sick, you want to avoid catching cramps. Dialysis makes you feel weak and tired as it is. So you want to be as helpful to the medical staff as you possibly can be at the dialysis center by giving them the information that they need so they can better serve you. Do your research. Know what is going on with their health. Understand what is going on. Understand what needs to be done. Doctors are not there to tell you what to do. I know there's a lot of doctors out there that have this godlike complex that feel like whatever they tell you to do, you should do that and that's it. No. When I was in Texas, there was a doctor up there, a dialysis center up there. I was on the transplant list and my blood level had dropped and they claimed, oh, we're going to have to give you a blood transfusion. I had already had one blood transfusion before that because I almost died, so I needed it. And I was like, no, when you're on the transplant list, you want to try to avoid getting blood transfusions at all costs unless it's absolutely necessary. So I was telling them, nah, I don't want to get another blood transfusion. Was there another way? Blah, blah, blah. They told me, no, you have to get a blood transfusion. So I was like, okay, look, let me think about it, and next time I come back, I'll let y'all know. So I went back, I went home, I did my research, and I also made a phone call to some nurses that I knew and talked to them. And they was like, well, you don't have to get a blood transfusion if it's not that bad. You could get EPO shots, which EPO shots help to build up the blood. Cool. When I went back to the doctor in Texas, the next time I went back, I talked to them again. I say, are you sure there's nothing else that can be done so I don't have to get another blood transfusion? They say, no, you're going to have to get the blood transfusion, blah, blah, blah. So I just looked at them and smiled, and I was like, wouldn't EPO shots help? Oh, they looked at me like they were surprised that I even knew that. Why? Because I don't let doctors do what they want to me. I'm going to do my research and find out the information. Come to find out, I did the EPO shots. The EPO shots worked. I did not need a blood transfusion. They were trying to do what they wanted to do to me. You have to understand that doctors will try things on you to make themselves feel better, to make themselves money. A lot of the meds that they give out, especially those free samples, they be having stock or part ownership or something in those companies. Or that company may have something to do with their doctor's office, may have some ownership or something in their doctor's office. So they're trying to push off meds and stuff to you. Be careful, be safe, do your research. Have others research with you so you can understand, so your people around you can understand, so you can be as healthy as possible and live the best possible life you can for you. Doctors and stuff get to go home to their family at the end of the day while we either end up in the hospital or worse. Y'all take care of yourself and always remember to be knowledgeable. This is your health. This is your life we're discussing. Be safe. Thank you.